Hello and welcome to another Chelsea chat. I think you can probably guess how excited I was about doing this vlog because of the great effort I've gone to give it a nice Chelsea background. So last night it was Chelsea 0, Real Madrid 2. I don't think many of us were expecting much else, but like always, you've got to hope. I remember, was it 2012 when we were losing to Napoli? I was at the bridge that night. It was a great atmosphere. We weren't expected to pull it back, but we did. But the difference being the teams. When you've got your Drogbas and your Terrys and your Lampards, it's a bit different, isn't it? Even if you're having a bad season. So yeah, last night the team sheet came out. I looked at it and thought Frank had some sort of breakdown. The team was Kepa in goal, Reece at right back, Fofana just inside of him with Thiago Silva in the middle, Chalobah on the left-hand side with Cucurella at left wing-back. In midfield, we had Enzo, Nagolo and Cover. Nagolo was playing just in front. And we had like a 1-1. We had Conor Gallagher, which I thought that's never going to work. And it did brilliantly, particularly in the first half. And we had Kai Havertz up front. And all my reservations just went out the window. The team were up for it. They were pressing. Conor Gallagher, who's getting stick on social media, but I always say I can't get into a serial killer's head, and I can't get into some of these supporters' heads, those that don't support. He's getting a load of stick, a load of Forrest Gump stuff, really easy, lazy stuff. No more, no less than I'd expect from some of these cabbages. But he put a proper shift in, did Conor Gallagher. He was a nuisance to him all night. People are saying, oh, they didn't get out of second or third gear. Maybe they didn't. But if you've watched them in La Liga this year, they've not had a second or a third gear. You know, I think that first game, a couple of our mistakes let them in, and that's where we really lost it. But again, we can't finish. Last night, Nagolo, people say it fell to the wrong person, but who's it going to fall to that's the right person in our team? Who? None of them seem capable of hitting a goal from any more than sort of 6 yards out. So Nagolo rushed it. You could see he knew how important that chance was. Yeah, we should have been 1-0 up. Reece James, he played really well last night. Looked a lot more like his old self. Got forward, made them conscious of covering him with two men last night, and put some great balls in. Great ball goes in. The Poodle arrives at the back, and he takes a touch and didn't need to. Should have hit it first time. Hit it low and hard first time. The keeper wouldn't have got near it. But no, the Poodle brings it down. Instead of taking it, realising that the keeper's going to be coming across and the defenders are going to be coming across, doesn't take a touch and put it to his right before hitting it. Takes a touch. Make sure the goalkeeper's in coming across, and then hits it. Hits it at about that height, which is perfect for Courtois, the snake. That was a good thing last night. The snake getting loads of stick. And I thought the crowd last night, before their first goal, was out of this world. So well done everyone who went. I was jealous last night that I couldn't be there. Biggest gripe of the night for me is, why have we got so many so-called professional footballers who can't beat the first man with a cross or a corner? I expect it from Cucurella, I'll be honest. I don't expect him to have any professional skills whatsoever. But no matter who took it, Reece took them, some terrible corners, even though he had a good night, and we know he can cross. Who else? Who else took him? Mudryk come on. He was the same. It was just we just haven't got any players apart from Chile and Mason, and not always with Mason, who can beat that first man from a dead ball. I just don't get it. I was pulling my hair out. So the goals, yeah, Poodle went rampaging forward, left Chalobah on his own. Chalobah, no need to should have slowed the guy up until the Poodle and others got into space. But Trevor Chalobah obviously thought he could get there. That Rodrigo's no slouch. Thought he could get there, and you've got to take the man. You know when you commit to a ball like that, if you don't get it, you've got to take the man. I don't think it would have been a red. I think it would have been a yellow. But even if it's a red, you've got to if you commit like that, you've got to take him if you don't get the ball. Kepa pulled off a couple of good saves again. They played it. They played on the break. It was a typical Real Madrid performance. But we were really, really decent last night. We weren't brilliant. I don't think that team, because there's no teamwork there, there's no connection, there's no chemistry yet. I don't think that you're ever going to get a great performance, but you got a much, much, much improved performance, and they put a shift in. They put a shift in. That's all you can all expect. I didn't know why Frank had picked that team, but when I saw the subs coming out, Sterling, João Felix and Mudryk, I thought to myself, having seen what had gone before that, do you know what? This is just going to weaken us. Mudryk come on for Cucurella, and to be honest, he done a decent job. He done a decent job defensively. Shot that's probably only just landed in the Fulham Road, but he always looks at danger. His pace is a danger. Sterling, the first thing he did was go to the corner and then lash, when we had three men in the box, lash a ball right the way over. I don't know what's wrong with Raheem Sterling. I've got nothing against him personally. I wanted to sign him, but he is absolutely pony. If he was a Muslim, he'd be a Shiite. He really, really would. João Felix, one mazy run where he lost the ball. You could sum him up, and you could sum his loan period at Chelsea up with that one passage of play. Flattered to deceive at times, but didn't do anything really to improve that side, and then 80th minute, we just brought Mount on. Mount looked like he was full of energy, tried to get involved, but brought on miles too late for my way of thinking. I'd have probably brought Mount on at half time, but he didn't come on. I think it was the 77th minute. So I'm surprised there's not a lot more people on social media blaming Mason Mount for us losing, because you know what they're like. And that's all I can really say. Most of those guys out there, the substitutes, useless. I can see now, having watched the game, why Frank picked it. I thought Frank got it bang on with what he's got. The trouble is he hasn't got a lot. He's got some tremendously skilled players, but they're not a team. They are nowhere near a team. So I'm gutted, I'll be honest with you. No Champions League football for at least a year. I reckon it'll probably be 2 or 3. I think the owners have got to take a real look at themselves, and we've got to make the right managerial appointment. I'm not sure Nagelsmann is that. So I'm not going to get excited anytime soon. So Kepa gets a 7 last night. Some good saves. You couldn't put the goals down to him. His distribution was a bit better last night. Yeah, Kepa gets a 7. Reece James, is he going to get more Chelsea man of the match? He gets a 7.5. I thought he was much improved last night. Fofana gets a 6.5. Thiago Silva gets a 7. He was like a Rolls Royce, wasn't he, last night? He was he just oozes class. Trevor Chalobah gets a 5. Thought he played decent, apart from a couple of moments of, I don't know, inspired lunacy. Cucurella last night had a good game by Cucurella's standards, and he gets a 6. Forget the miss, forget the running around like a headless chicken, forget leaving his man at times. By Cucurella's standards, that was top notch. I mean, I'd give him an open top bus ride around from Fulham Town Hall on his own today for producing that standard of performance. You know, by his own standards, not by any normal standards, but by his own standards, that was superb. So he gets a 6. In front of them, Enzo gets a 6.5. Some of his passing was lovely. Reminded you a bit of Cesc Fabregas. I think he just looks up and can't believe what's going on around him. Cover last night gets a 5.5. Still gave the ball away far too easily. As I've said, I got told ages ago that by quite a good source at the club that he didn't want to be there anymore. So I expect him to go in the summer because he's only got 1 year left on his contract, I think. And he sort of plays like that, although you'd think he'd be putting himself in the shop window. N'Golo Kante last night just edges my man of match. I know he missed that awful... I know he had that awful miss, but he was just everywhere again last night. Playing slightly forward of where he normally would, and he gets an 8. Conor Gallagher gets a 7.5. The lad's getting stick today. Do you know what? Some of these people, I just don't get them. The lad's getting stick today. 7.5. Put a proper shift in. Havertz gets a 6. He gets a 6.5. He did put a proper shift in. He was coming looking for the ball. He was winning headers. Much improved performance by Havertz. He can share Cucurella's bus from Fulham Town Hall. So I'm not going to say anything about the substitutes, but Sterling. Coal miners put as much effort in to mining for coal as Sterling puts in to playing for Chelsea. There'd be no worries about climate change, would there? There'd be no coal. I don't know what to say about Sterling. And Frank gets a 7 last night because I thought they were motivated. I thought they put a proper shift in, and it turns out I was wrong and he was right. He picked the right team. People are saying he didn't bring the subs on early enough. I'm saying he didn't bring them subs on late enough. I'd have brought them subs on in the 96th minute. The game ended after 95, didn't it? They were absolutely ponies. They'd done nothing at all. It's not worth bringing forwards on for the sake of bringing forwards on. So I thought he had it about right. I wouldn't have let João Felix or Sterling anywhere near that team, but that's just me. That's why he's on the big bucks and I'm on Sweet FA. So, okay, let me know what you think. And that's why I do these, so to get us all chatting. I had some great responses to some of these lately, and from people that don't normally comment. We don't always agree, but we're respectful, and we can beg to differ, can't we? Because that's what football's about. That's why we all love it. None of us are right. None of us are wrong. Apart from the cabbages, they're wrong. Okay, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. It would be appreciated if you can throw the video a like. Apparently that really helps me. Channel's gradually growing, which is good. Okay, thanks for the support, and I will speak to you after Brentford, I think it is. Okay, up to Chelsea.